Hello. Happy Manifestation Monday. Aren't you tired of those temporary highs that don't last? And noticing how we keep chasing after it. So, I recently had a conversation with someone. This was actually inspired by a big event that I just attended a few days ago, actually, yesterday. It was a weekend long event. Somebody big in the personal development and spirituality industry. And something about that event, which was so powerful, the work of this person is absolutely, amazing and transformational for many people. However, there was a moment where it started feeling so out of alignment. And I'm going to get into why. We chase those temporary highs. So, and this is evolution, really. Like, this is evolution, right? You have to get to that as, I believe that's a Jim Carrey quote. Everybody wants to get rich and famous, but they believe that it doesn't bring you happiness, but everybody wants to try anyway. And we need to experience that. We need the illusion of that so that we can understand that, wait a second, that's not actually what I want. And that's the evolution of desire, and that's okay. If you came, let's say, from lack, you genuinely believe that, let's say, financial wealth will bring you that happiness, will bring you that fulfillment. And some people snap out of it understanding, maybe looking at examples of other people like, oh, wait a second, it doesn't. And sometimes you have to experience that to understand that, I got it all and I still feel empty, or I still feel numb. And, I have all these check marks and my life is supposedly picture perfect. This is what other people want, but I feel so empty on the inside. And, as I've shared with my journey, this is something that I could totally relate to. Here's the thing though, with these big events, they don't go deep enough. And it's fine. It's completely fine for those people who are looking for that first stage, of, spirituality or personal growth, where you're coming out of this, life is happening to me and I'm a victim and I have no control. Those kind of the mainstream personal growth, it brings you into, no, you are in control and you create your reality. And whatever you see on the outside is the reflection of what is inside. It kind of gets people comfortable with this. Here is why it's harmful. So at this event, I was doing there were several practices, several meditations. And during one of them, my inner child just said, get me out of here now. And here is why. A lot of these big teachers will tell you things, and I mean, this is sales and marketing. They will tell you that you can get that which you want, that you can just change your belief system, and you can. However, if it is not done properly, that comes at a price. And long term, it causes more harm than good. People sell, let's say, books that say how to get your child to do what you want. But what is really to be addressed for, with the people that are buying those kind of products is, what is it within you that is wanting to manipulate another human being instead of seeing the perfection of who they are and letting them be who they are? And how can you support them? And why aren't you doing that? And why are you projecting your own not enoughness as a parent onto your child? That is something to be looked at. But because that doesn't create as much money for the people selling it, it goes with how to get your kid to do what you want. And similarly, with a lot of these big names, and this is why it's appealing, like, oh, it's just that easy. I can just shift it all. And yes, you can. But long term, it will not give you that which you want. Because we want to experience wholeness. We want to experience connection. And when we go into fixing I don't like this thing about me. Let's say the belief is I'm not enough or nobody was ever there for me. Nobody is ever there for me now. And that's the belief system. And the people out there are going to like the bigger names. I'm not saying that, all coaches or teachers or healers are wrong. I'm just saying careful with this one because those who sell to you the easy solution of just change your belief system, it's that easy. What you're doing there is there's a part of you that created this belief system because it felt so scared. Let's say the not enoughness. It was this inner child, the more vulnerable part of you at some point in your development, typically from the womb until age of 8. This belief system was created. And there's a part of you that is so scared and feels so rejected and alone. And when we go into this is the belief system. I don't like it anymore. We're basically saying to that part that already felt so isolated. It felt bullied, rejected by parents or early caregivers. And we're saying to it, no, you're still not enough. And I reject you too. You're not good enough. So that not enoughness belief system, I don't like it. Let's change it to something else. And that doesn't create wholeness. That does not create long term results because wholeness is accepting all parts of ourselves. And I remember when I first began, and my teacher guided us through this experience, and I objected to this, which is what I'm saying right now. I objected to this practice where it was, okay, what are you feeling? And can you allow, and like hurt, pain, anger, can you allow that feeling to exist? And I go, no, I want to overcome it, right? It's like Tony Robbins kind of approach. We're greater than that. And they go, if you're fighting it, then it wins. If you're going against it, then you're creating the disconnection. You're rooting for your lack. Because wholeness is loving those insecurities, is loving that not enoughness, is seeing yourself through the eyes of source, God, life, source, consciousness, divinity. You are perfect, you are divine. So anything that you create doesn't come from lack. I'm not enough and this thing has to be fixed about me. It's, I am so freaking amazing. I love all of me. I love that inner child who felt so alone that had to create the story of, for example, it's not safe for me to have more money than a particular amount. It's not safe for me to be in a relationship. It's not safe for me to, I don't know, get what I want, or I'm too much or not enough, or whatever that belief system was. You get to integrate that part of you. And that creates long-term connection. That creates long-term success because otherwise it's like you're putting that new layer of paint over the old one and saying, see, there is no problem. It's like, for how long? You haven't dealt with the root cause. And you're creating more disconnection by rejecting a part of you even further. And so in that practice, my inner child was just raging that this is not how to do it. That when it comes to, again, the work of this person that I went to is amazing, but when it comes to subconscious reprogramming, when it comes to creating that wholeness within you, it can't come from denying a part of yourself, from rejecting. Like I said with the example with the book and the parent, sure, you're going to manipulate your kid into doing what they want. How's that going to work out for you long term? Is that the kind of connection you want to have with that child? And that's literally the inner child in you. Yeah, you're going to have this, let's just change the belief system and there's no problem. How's that going to work out? When you keep fixing yourself, when you keep seeing yourself as there's something wrong with me, let's upgrade my programming, not from this place of, I feel so amazing and so abundant. What does expansion look like? What does even better look like? But from this place of, oh, right, this thing has to be fixed and this thing is not good enough. It's like when you have a home or maybe, you have a business and you're there like, right, this needs improvement, this isn't quite yet there yet. When we're going into looking at ourselves as a constant improvement project, that's not wholeness, that's disconnection. You're never going to get there. And as crazy as it may seem, you're going to get there by actually understanding that you are it right now and surrendering into that. And a lot of people have resistance to that because kind of like, wait, well, where does that doing come in? Like, well, if I accept myself and love myself unconditionally, there will be no expansion. There will be no next. I'm just not going to do anything. And this is what a lot of my clients ask. And to that, I would like to point out that if you're afraid of that, that means you've never truly tuned into that. You've never really relaxed. And that's the feminine energy within us, the receptivity. You can't receive from life fully when you don't trust it. And we have these like evidence, right? It's like, oh, right, the best ideas come in the shower or when I'm doing the things that I enjoy and I'm just relaxing and this motivation comes. So many scientific discoveries, right, were made in this way. That's like, oh, person just let it go. And then they had this idea, this epiphany. And we have that on the conceptual level, we understand it, but we don't actually trust it. And so many people I work with go, okay, well, have I relaxed enough now? Because I feel like I really need to do something. It's like, well, if you feel like you really need to do something and there's this need and your ego's getting agitated, then no, you haven't. Because when you understand that I'm not doing anything wrong and there's nothing that needs doing, what if it's enough to be? From that place, you don't ask a question of, oh, is it time to act now? You just know, like you just freaking know. It's like so many relationship coaches, they say, they get these questions like, oh, maybe there are two people and I want to settle down with one of them and I don't know which one it is, or I don't know if my partner is the right or wrong one. It's like, and help me out with this. And they go, if you're asking this question, then none of them, like neither of those people are, the person that you're with isn't it, because you just know. And it's the same with any action, with anything in your life, because everything in your life is just relationship with yourself. So if it does not feel like a hell freaking yes, if you're not moved, then it's not it. If it comes from, I should be better, I should be somewhere else, this will bring me happiness, then you're not there. And in the long run, like I said, this is just, it's a murder and like brutal, um, just trauma, further trauma to the inner child. Of just, you're not good enough, let's fix this belief system. How about loving that part that needs your love? How about accepting it? If that vulnerable part of you, if that inner child cannot be its full self and be accepted and seen by you, then who the hell can it be seen by and accepted and loved? And the reason I'm bringing this into Manifestation Monday is just, first of all, yesterday after that practice, there was just like so much rage from that, like, oh my God, how, and again, like for some people that was an amazing practice, but going deeper with this, understanding that it does not create long-term results. And the reason I'm bringing this into Manifestation Monday is because if you are not whole within, if there's not this, I'm in the right place, I'm at the right time, nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to be done, right now is perfect. If you cannot embody that, good luck manifesting that which you want. Because there's this inner lack. How can you manifest anything of abundance when you're experiencing lack, when any fixing comes from something about my life right now has to be improved? It's the same hamster wheel. And so many people nowadays are in the personal development hamster wheel. And that's what a lot of them are selling, right? They're not selling a long-term solution. They're selling a hyped up feeling of, oh my God, I feel amazing. This is like an experience with God, life, source consciousness. And I mean, it is, but it's temporary. How about living like that all the time? Which is what I have with my clients. Like I literally had clients say that I haven't lived, and this is somebody who's lived a long time, I haven't lived until our work together over the last few months. Because they're not moments of connection to God, life, source consciousness. They're not those like, oh my God, I'm held, I am love itself. It's a way of being. Like when something amazing happens in your life, like, hell yes, more please. And when things that are seemingly, negative, when that happens, you're like, oh my God, yes, I get to love myself. I get to connect with myself. I get to be there for me. I get to grow. So you get to live an ecstatic life, not just moments of high. And that takes not rejecting parts of you that aren't good enough, that are the problem, but actually incorporating it and loving it. No, the ego, the inner child, cannot be in the present moment. The mind doesn't feel safe. It wants to take you to the past or it wants to take you to the future. And that's true, right? It's like, but I can't bring my ego into the present moment. No, but you can work with it and love it so that it relaxes and it doesn't freak out when you're leaving it when you are in the present moment because you've accepted your past, you've loved it, you've worked through those things that caused you pain or caused you just emotional turmoil, those emotions that were trapped in the body, you've released that. And with that, there's no fear about the future. And that is when you can fully be in this place of your power in the present moment. And again, that does not come from rejecting the past. That does not come from shutting down your inner child and saying, your beliefs are not good enough. And here's what we're going to do instead. So, on this note, how can you tune into more wholeness instead of, and I have so much anger with this and those, again, practitioners that, yes, it works on an aspect, getting out of the victim mentality, like I said, but this brings tears to my eyes and just that feeling because I feel this with every single client that comes to me. I can feel that in their body. I can feel their inner child being so freaking terrified and so hurt and no one to go to. And they are themselves rejecting that inner child just like their parents did early in childhood. And it's as simple as freaking loving it. Where can you bring more wholeness into your experience? Where can you stop rejecting yourself? Where can you stop? And you know you've got this if your inner critic is bullshitting you into, see, you always fail, or this is not good enough, or all of those stories. It's the repetition. This is what you are doing to your inner child. Those are the stories that you believe from your early caregivers, from the people in your early childhood. So how can you tune into wholeness? Not what is wrong with me, but oh my God, I'm so freaking amazing. This thought of lack, I bring it in here. I can sit with the part of me that doesn't feel good enough. I can love the part of me that feels like it won't never be accepted. I can love the part of me that feels rejected. I can love the part of me that feels like it's a complete failure. I can love the part of me that's afraid of success. What is that part of you that you have been rejecting for so long? And can you welcome it in? Can you be a loving parent to it? Can you be a safe space for that part of you? Because that is what creates transformation. With that said, with this work, and this is something that we dive deeper into with the Powerful Self membership every month. This is what I encourage people to do. But there is a free practice that I want to share with you guys, going to be down in the description. Just understanding first creating space, right? Because it's difficult to accept the failure when you think you are the failure. Creating space with that part. And that is what I'm actually sharing 3 free practices with you guys. So down below, if you didn't grab that yet, go ahead and do that. The first practice is this visualization where we get to create space with our identities, with our persona, with those parts that we thought that, oh, that's who I am. That's not who you are. It's a part of you. And when we are able to distance ourselves, this is when we can actually work and dialogue with it. So that's completely free. Go ahead and check it out. On this note, let's take a breath because a lot was stirred up today. This is a deep topic of, it's like if you've been rejecting yourself in one way or another, or even doing all these spiritual things and personal development, or just like maybe, just maybe I'll feel better about myself. You get to feel better about yourself right now. You get to love yourself unconditionally right now. You get to make that choice. So let us take a deep breath into the belly, to the chest, into the nose, and exhaling out. Feeling, just taking a moment, stay with me here, taking a moment, feeling gravity hold you. And as you're inhaling in into the belly, into the chest, into the nose, understanding that you have the support of the air element as well, and exhaling out. You don't need to apply. You simply are worthy of that returning breath. You don't need to apply for, gravity holding you for the support of this vessel that you have. It's simply available to you. You are unconditionally loved. You are unconditionally supported. Can you freaking embody that in your life? Many blessings.